Okay. So I've gelled my hands before I came in. So we need to set up the dressing pack with everything we need. This is what we call a no-touch technique. So we can touch the outside of the packaging, but not the inside. And that way we can keep it as sterile as possible. So we just pick the corners up.
I'm really sorry, Tom needs suction.
And then what we've got in the dressing pack is a plastic bag. Now we can pick that up. And we're going to use this as a glove to arrange the contents of the dressing pack. So the top outside of the bag is always there, so you can put it on. So we're now sterile. We can actually move things around. So we've got some gloves, again they're sterile, they're double wrapped, so we can put those on the side. We've got a dressing towel, we've got the tray, and we've got the swabs there. So we put them out at the corners, and that keeps our sterile field empty. We can then put on the things that we're going to use. So we've got some gel. We put them into the swabs, and we're not going to touch the swabs, we're just going to drop that onto the swabs. We've got the dressing for the trachea, and again we're not going to touch the dressing, we're just going to drop it onto the sterile field in the middle. We need the trachea tube, so we check that it's the right size and type. It is a size 5. Nice. We also check this in date as well.
Okay.
So we tip that onto the middle of the field. The one thing that won't come out of the pack is the introducers. We have to keep that separate. We'll pick that up once we've got our sterile gloves on.
Okay.
And then finally, the straps, but they're not sterile, so I'm going to put them on the tray so it keeps them away from everything else. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the sterile gloves. So I've got everything I need apart from a syringe. I need to get a syringe first. This is easy when you've got more than one person, because that second person can go and get your things and so on. Because once you've got the sterile gloves on, you're not going to touch anything externally. So the hardest part is getting the gloves on.
Yeah.
So these are wrapped so we can touch the wrapping, bring out the gloves themselves, and they're put on left and right with thumbs outwards usually. That's how they're packed. So we pick up the right hand glove. Now the cuff is folded back, so I'm actually touching the inside of the glove here, not the outside. So I'm putting it on without touching the outside.
Okay.
So the outside of that glove has not
When
been...
you're doing it, it seems easy.
Yeah, so that glove has not been touched on the outside. So I'm now going to touch the other glove, and what I'm going to do is pick that glove up, and I'm going to put the fingers of my sterile glove onto the outside of that glove. I'm going to keep my thumb out of the way, and I'm going to then put my hand in like so. So this glove has not touched the inside, so these are now sterile, and I can arrange them if they're not quite fitting properly. So now I can touch everything that's sterile, because I'm not going to put anything on it. So the first thing is to prepare the tube. when it comes out of the packaging, it has an inner tube in it, so we're going to take that out.
Remove it.
And we want the introducer to go in, and that just fits in there, snaps into place, and that just blanks off the end to make it easy to put in. We can then take the cut, so 5 mils, inject that in, and we're just making sure that inflates evenly, it's not bent or distorted.
Okay.
And then we deflate it, and we're going to fold that back so that all the air is taken out of it. And what we've done is we've folded it back so it's at its narrowest point at the tip.
Yes.
And gets bigger towards the middle of the tracheostomy tube. So when we're putting that in, it gets progressively wider, so it's easier to put in. We can then put the dressing on.
Okay.
And then finally we're going to put the tapes on so it's all ready to go. We put in. So these I can now touch because I've done all the sterile things that I want to touch on the tube. Now which side is the short side on?
The right side.
Tom's right, okay. So pick that tube. That's the right side there. Put that on there. And then we'll put the other on the other side. So I can now get into a position where I'm ready to put the trachea tube in, and we hold it with fingers there and thumb
All right.
on the trachea tube. So that way I've got complete control over how that moves.
Okay.
And I can use my thumb to put the pressure to go in and my wrist to alter the angle. And before we put it in, we finally want to put a little bit of gel on just to ease the passage.
Okay.
Now Tom likes a very thin layer of gel, and doesn't like any big droplets of gel, so we make sure we have just a thin layer so there's no big dollops all the way around. So that's then ready to use. And at this point we're then going to take the other one out and I pop that one in. Okay, thank you.
Remove